ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day. The TVV Homer Hour. Dom Cotroneo with the Brewers pre-post, and I think it has all the stats for the TV stuff, too. He'll be on. The Brewers have officially clinched the division because the Cubs already lost, so it really doesn't matter what the Brewers do tonight because they are, and now they are the division winner, but now the fight is to try to be a 1 or 2 seed. They were trailing the Dodgers by 2 games. The Dodgers seem to be more a mess than the Phillies. Phillies are first, Dodgers are second, 2 games ahead of the Brewers. So the Brewers are 2 games back, and there are 12 to go. I believe a tie with the Dodgers, they lose, but I'll have to check that. It's been an amazing season. Brewers have played so well that the expectations are legitimately high even in the playoffs. 1-800-990-3776. Caller number 5. We start with Rainman. It's Wednesday. Caller 5, Rainman. Our high so far, Pebble, is 9.
With Terry and Waukesha, yes.
And you have 15 questions, and you have 2 minutes to answer them all. Stolen from ESPN. Kenny Mayne did it. The one-time world-famous Schwab was tough to beat. Dan Needles competed when they finally had a competition for sportscasters, TV sportscasters, and he defeated the supposedly unbeatable Schwab. And I'm pretty sure there was a question that Alvin Robertson, the Bucks player who had the team record for steals or something, that was a question that benefited Dan Needles for the historic win. Rainman is brought to you by Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. That's how I used to describe it. Recently, I've gotten my act together because they've been doing it well for over 50 years. That's how it's easy to explain how they're so good with employee benefits, which can be complicated sometimes for people, businesses, not when you've been doing it well for over 50 years. That's one of the reasons why Saganiac Planning is so good. A phone number to remember, 262-783, Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
All you got to remember is 783, and the rest of it is there. So, Saganiac Planning, one of the great partners for Rainman. Again, it is caller number 5, 1-800-990-3776. We do have a contestant. Rainman is also brought to you by Cousin Subs. They're such a great partner. Even if you stink, you automatically get a $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. And if you win the competition, generally they go for 6 months. We have 2 each year. This one will go to the end of the year. Then you would win Cousin Subs for a year worth about $300. The last 2 competitions have finished in a tie. I think we had a 3-way tie, then a 2-way tie.
2 ago, and then a 2-way tie last time. Yeah.
Randomly, we select the winner based on phone numbers, but feel comfortable if you are tied and you don't win just to blame me. 1-800-990-3776. The first question is also the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. Let's go to Josh in Jackson. Josh, you're on 94.5 ESPN. Good evening.
Hey, Homer.
Do you have a Rainman resume at all?
Been on 3 times. Last time I got 10 or 11, but not enough to win.
Whoa, 10 or 11. Either of that would be good enough to make you the leader. The first question is the Big Papa Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. You ready to go?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. What Marquette player is 9th best all-time career NBA three-point shooting percentage?
Steve Novak.
Correct. Packers with 53 running plays against the Colts. The first time 53 or more carries in a game since what year?
1978.
Correct. Name the only Packer with 39 rushing attempts in one game.
Pass.
In 1997, he had 33 carries in one game and 31 in another for the Packers. Name him.
Dorsey Levens.
That's correct. 2000 Rose Bowl. How many carries for Ron Dane? He had more than Josh Jacobs had against the Colts.
34.
That is correct. Name the two schools where Malik Willis played college football.
Pass.
Willie Adames leads the Brewers with how many home runs?
33.
Incorrect. Bryce Terang leads the Brewers with how many stolen bases?
40.
Excuse me?
46.
Incorrect. 20-year-old Jackson Cheerio has how many home runs?
20.
Incorrect. 20-year-old Jackson Cheerio has how many stolen bases?
20.
Correct. He leads the Brewers with 12 wins.
Tobias Myers.
Incorrect. Who leads the Brewers in saves?
Pass.
Luke Fickell's record at Wisconsin last season and this season is what?
11-6.
Incorrect. 11 games left. Into tonight's play, how many games are the Brewers behind for a top 2 seed behind the Dodgers?
2.
Correct. Kicker of Houston Texans. How many field goals, 50 yards or more in his first 2 games? He has not missed one.
5.
Incorrect. He leads the Brewers in saves.
Piamps.
Incorrect. Let's see.
Miguel.
1, 2, yes. I got 3. I got 6.
I have 6 as well.
We'll see how hard they are based on how Pebble does. Yes, Steve Novak, 9th best all-time career NBA three-point shooting percentage. Yes, 1978, the last time the Packers ran 53 times in a game. Name the only Packer with 39 rushing attempts in a game.
Turdell Middleton?
Turdell Middleton is correct. Dorsey Levens was correct. He's the last one to do 30-plus in 2 years, 33 and 31. Ron Dane, yes, had 34 carries in the 2000 Rose Bowl, 2 more than Jacobs had against the Colts. Name the 2 schools where Malik Willis played college football. Tell him, Pebble.
Auburn and Liberty.
That is correct. Willie Adames leads the Brewers with how many home runs?
32.
Correct. Bryce Terang leads the Brewers with how many stolen bases?
44.
Correct. 20-year-old Jackson Cheerio has how many home runs?
21.
21. Correct. 20-year-old Jackson Cheerio has how many stolen bases?
20.
Correct. He leads the Brewers with 12 wins.
Colin Ray.
Correct. He leads the Brewers in saves. We got that eventually.
Trevor Megill, yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Megill. He's got 20. Devin Williams has 12. Luke Fickell's record at Wisconsin last season and this season.
Combined?
Yep.
He was the 9-7.
9-7 is correct. Man, these were too easy. Yes, the Brewers trail the Dodgers by 2 for the number 2 seed. The kicker of the Houston Texans. How many field goals, 50 yards or more, in their first 2 games, and he has not missed?
He has 4, I think, right? No, 3.
6.
6? Jeez.
Against Chicago, 56, 59, 53. Against the Colts, 51, 50, and 51. He also made a kick 47 yards against Chicago. That is 7 for 7, 6 more than 50 yards. What's my point of that stat, Pebble?
Too easy to kick field goals in the
joke.
NFL.
A joke. By the way, you can bet on. I made a bet. In the game that Houston plays this week, I don't even know who they play. If either kicker makes one more than 47.5 yards, I win my bet. Doesn't that seem too easy?
Texans play the Vikings.
Yeah. Either kicker kicks one more than 47.5 yards, I win my bet. The guy's made 6 over 50 yards. 50, 51. The only one that wouldn't count 47. Josh, how do you feel about your performance?
Not great. I was 1 or 2 off on a lot of those baseball ones.
That's true. Pebble, were the questions fair? Was it too hard?
They were fair, definitely
They
fair.
were definitely fair.
Well, no, I mean, if you're a big fan of the Brewers and you know the stats from the team this year.
Yeah, and it also makes me pass along information that I think is valuable as far as Bryce Terang, 44 stolen bases, and that's not even close to the lead. The kid from Cincinnati, right? He's got like...
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah. Adames, 32 home runs. 1978. Josh, thanks for playing. You do get the $25 gift card from Cousin Subs. 9, still the lead. Though I do want to credit Josh. I should give him a bonus point because he did pass pretty quickly on some. He passed on Treadell Middleton. He passed on Auburn and Liberty. And he passed on Trevor McGill. All right, the Brewers are already in the playoffs. They've won the division. It really was never in doubt, but the Cubs lost this afternoon, so the Brewers don't even have to win. If I was on the Brewers, it would be very, very hard to focus on the game tonight. However, I'm sure Murphy will tell them that nothing has changed. They are 2 games back of the Dodgers for the second spot, which means you get a bye in the wild card round. So that is really what was important about the game tonight anyway. Phillies in first place. I think they're 4 up on the Brewers now, so beating Philly would be great, but it would appear the Dodgers look a little more vulnerable than the Phillies. But we'll ask Dom Cotroneo as he is next, as the Brewers have won the division again. Baseball, Brewers, division champs. And then Tim Van Voren. Baseball's next.
New season, new manager, same old crew. The Milwaukee Brewers are National League Central champions once again. React with us and talk crew right here as they make a push for the pennant. 94.5 ESPN. The Crew Talk podcast on Wisconsin On Demand and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Eastbound on 94 had an earlier accident underneath Barker Road. Looks like they got that cleared out of the way. Still, though, big delays from Highway G all the way to that point at Barker Road. On the westbound side, slowing down out of the Marquette to Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from Highway 100, all the way through to about Springdale Road, where there was an earlier broken down vehicle being worked on as well. We've also got delays eastbound 94 from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange. A heavy ride southbound on 41 from before Appleton Avenue, stretching all the way down past Capitol. It's going to be a long, slow crawl there. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 61. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 83 at the lakefront, 87 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Milwaukee fans, your perfect sports day is here, and it's Thursday, September 26th at Magoo's on the Mound. Come early to watch baseball as Milwaukee takes on Pittsburgh at 11:35, and stay for 94.5 ESPN's live broadcast of Kyle Bruston Nortman from 2 to 5 p.m. Enjoy amazing food, great drink specials, and more. From baseball postseason and football game day specials to their famous Friday night fish fry and exciting live music series coming soon. Magoo's on the Mound is the place to be this fall. Visit magoos.biz for information on events and specials.
Time is running out on the Brewers regular season. Hurry up and catch the Crew battle the Diamondbacks September 20th through the 22nd for College Night and a Brewers Puffy Vest giveaway on the 21st. Get your seats now at brewers.com/tickets.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Bliss is more.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales, Luther Gray.
James Imaging has been a wonderful partnership with the Milwaukee Symphony and just great to work with.
In what ways?
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
Luther James Imaging Systems is a local business technology company that stands with their clients over the long term.
Yes, before, during, and after the sale, James Imaging is there, and they are making sure you get the full value in life of every product that you have with them.
Luther, any advice for others looking for a long-term business technology partnership?
I would tell them that James Imaging is the way to go.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And as I tried writing this radio commercial on my phone, that darn autocorrect always seemed to give me fits. Which got me thinking, if you're looking for a stress-free, painless, wow, that was easy home mortgage process, give Great Midwest Bank a try. Find an experienced loan officer at greatmidwestbank.com to guide you to a state of banquility. Yeah, autocorrect would have never caught that one. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. It's back to the postseason for the Brewers. The Crew are NL Central champions for the 5th time. Talk about the push for the pennant with ESPN Milwaukee, 94.5 FM, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The Homer, it is time for people to learn about the Brewers. They have 11 games left. They have a chance to be one of the top 2 seeds. I'm convinced most people don't know much. No one thought they would be this good. I think Pat Murphy said nobody thought this could happen outside the locker room. If he took an honest poll, I'm not sure how many people in the locker room thought they would do this. And there's no one in that locker room that thought they would be as good as they've been. I think they lead baseball in run differential, given all the injuries that occurred. There's nobody better to ask than Dom Cotroneo about the Brewers and what you need to know to learn about them in the next 11 games. Because he does like 20 jobs. Let's see. He does radio pre- and post-game. Don't you do stats for the TV or something? What are all
Sure do.
So how many jobs do you have for a given game?
Let's just say, Homer, my taxes are really complicated at the end of the year.
Yeah. All right. So you start wherever you want to. The list from the order of importance that people need to know to understand why this team has been incredibly good. The statistically most dominant team in baseball.
Well, I talked about this with Rhys Hoskins actually just a moment ago, and it's ironic that, of course, they clinch against his former team here tonight. But I asked Rhys about it, just like, hey, you said you wanted to sign with a winner as you head into free agency this past year. And he was sitting there with Christian Yelich too, and I also flipped it to Yelich saying, like, you've created a winning culture here. I mean, since you stepped foot here in 2018 winning his MVP year, it's like that's been sort of the line of demarcation of when this team created its winning culture. And Rhys alluded to that, saying what Yelly has built here and what the team has built here doesn't happen overnight, but it makes it a destination that people want to come to now because you know they're going to put a competitive team on the field no matter how young it is. And then it goes into the blend of leaders like those two guys, Rhys and Yelly, who have both played at the highest level. Rhys has played in the World Series. Yelly has come one game short of it. And then you've got all these young guys. We talk about Churio. We talk about Ortiz in his first year as a big leaguer. We talk about Terang in his sophomore year. Garrett's been injured so much, and now he's starting to get a taste of success. So the blend of veteran leadership and the youth that, quite frankly, Homer, they just don't know any better, right? They know to play hard. They know that they want to win as many games as possible. And the result is this, being Central champions again.
At some point, they're going to prove that they're very good in future years, or they'll prove that this is one of the great flukes ever because they've just been so good. I mean, I don't think
there's no fluke about being the first place in run differential, Homer. You know that.
I know.
I mean,
so is Terang this good? It's like in 5 years or 3 years, are we going to say, I know we were surprised, but we shouldn't have been because this is how good these players have proven to be?
It's exactly like the moment when Jackson Churio was signed, right? Everyone's like, well, I mean, I guess it could work out. And then in the end of May, everyone's like, well, why the heck would you sign this guy? And look how it turned out. So these things take time to show off what they actually are going to be meaning to the team. But what I see with this club, I mean, you said it at the top, and Murph echoed that as well, that literally nobody counted on this team, and that's fine. I mean, quite frankly, I think Murph understood the job that he was taking and how difficult it was going to be to win this division. But one of my favorite things that Murph said in his opening address to the team in spring training, all 60-some guys there in spring training camp, the guys that maybe aren't going to be involved or that sort of thing, where it's like, hey, I don't want you guys to see this as like, ooh, the old guy finally got a chance to manage. I want to win. I want to win so much that they finally tap us on the shoulder and say, all right, hey, you've won enough. You're good. And they feel like they haven't tapped on that shoulder yet. They've still got 11 games to maybe sneak into that 2 seed and earn a bye. But the phrase that Murph used today was, now the next question is, are you ready to dig deeper? And that's what, as many Brewers fans know, the next question is, can you win a series now in the postseason?
Talking with Dom Cotroneo, yes, the Brewers are in, but really the game was the same level of importance it was before the Cubs lost, because the Brewers are 2 games back of the Dodgers trying to get one of the top 2 seeds. Has pitching changed so much that you can have no staff, that they don't have an ace? I don't know, Peralta's probably 3 or whatever, and yet they're going to have to do it and continue to do it in the playoffs. Can you do that now, given how much has changed with pitching in baseball?
I think if there's a team built to survive without an ace, it's these Brewers, right? You don't have a Zach Wheeler walking through the door every 5th day where he's going to give you 7 innings like he gave you last night. Or you look at, like, say, the Yankees, who have a Garrett Cole they can hand to, and they know they're going to get 7 innings. This team, though, if you're not going to have a guy like that, you got to have a deep bullpen. And quite frankly, the Brewers bullpen is one of the top 3 bullpens in baseball. I mean, they're in that conversation with the Guardians and Emmanuel Clase and the incredible year he's having with Cleveland, with the San Diego Padres, who quietly had maybe the best trade deadline of anybody, acquiring 2 key relievers to help their bullpen. And these Brewers, who, oh, by the way, they've got Devin Williams back. They've got Trevor McGill, who can have the 8th. They got Yoel Payamps healthy. They've got Brian Hudson ready to go, coming back up from AAA here soon. They've got Jared Koenig, who's suddenly throwing 99 now. Aaron Ashby, wipeout sliders. I mean, that's just 6 names, and I haven't even mentioned some more guys that could help out this team too. So this is a club that, if you're not going to have the ace, you got to have the other, right? There's 2 pulleys to this, and they have the other and then some, because, Homer, you've seen enough postseasons to know, and especially like 2018, right? That team kind of was the same way. They didn't have an ace. They relied on their multi-headed monster in the bullpen that can get multiple innings, can have matchups, and rely on the offense to score some runs. I get so many 2018 vibes from this current club.
And I say Matt Arnold's the MVP, and it's not even close. No manager can make players that much better. And all the moves, it just seems incredible. Players nobody had heard of got hurt, and then he brought in other players nobody had ever heard of.
For sure.
I don't know. How does he do it? They just judge talent differently? Because I'm sure every other team in baseball is trying to figure it out too.
If it was that easy, everybody would do it, right? So it's one of the things that Pat Murphy actually talked about at length today. He gave Matt Arnold a lot of credit, as we talked to Pat Murphy a little bit ago, just saying it's the people here, it's the culture here. And that may sound like word salad to some, but the truth is, I mean, Matt's been here for years before David Stearns departed, and he stays put, and he's in charge. And one of the things I've talked about with Matt Arnold is the fact that he still has one of the most robust scouting staffs in baseball. Not many teams add to their scouting department these days because it's all into the analytics. And I think Matt and the Brewers do a great job of blending the two, where one has to exist with the other. You can't go all in one and not have the other, and then you find yourself stuck. It's not by accident that the Brewers win another Central Division title with Matt Arnold and the David Stearns regime here. And keep in mind, the entire assistant coaching staff stayed put here despite Craig Counsell going down to Chicago. That should not be lost that, yes, they changed manager, but he was already in the building. The continuity and the people that have been here in Milwaukee, why would you leave a winning program? And it's one of those things that they have proven they know how to win over and over and over again. And the people like Matt Arnold, like Pat Murphy, like Matt Klein, who talked to MLB Network earlier today, everybody in the front office deserves so much credit for continuing to dominate this division.
Talking with Dom Cotroneo, all right, I've told this story. Now I'm going to have to find out if it's true. I still credit David Stearns because it's my belief that when he became a GM, he hired not somebody he had worked with, but somebody he had competed against in Matt Arnold, which doesn't happen very often, and that was the most important thing he ever did. Is that accurate?
One of the most, I agree, because this is why it's important, Homer. The fact is, Stearns is a analytics guy. We know how he's been educated. We know what he's brought to his teams learning about advanced baseball, learning like the Theo Epstein types, right? But The reason he goes and gets Matt Arnold 8 years ago is because he's coming from the Tampa Bay Rays, a team that relies on both scouting and analytics, a team that has such a great scouting department that is able to grab pieces and make them better, and player development and how important that is for a market that needs to develop its own players and rely on margins, rely on trades, rely on more drafting as opposed to going to sign a big free agent like the Phillies are able to do per se, right? So the reason why that works is because you have multiple ways to find value. You've got Matt with a more scouting background. He was a scout for years too, mind you. And you've got Stearns, who's more of an analytic background and trying to create every advantage possible, any sort of little thing you can do to get better. And when you combine those two things, that's how you have sustained success.
How is Cheerio so good at 20? And can you compare him to anyone? Or I mean, there are other players in baseball that have recently in years come up and been so good so young. What? Explain it.
I think I've been really hesitant to comp him to people because I think a lot of people were quick to make the Ronald Acuna Jr. comp to him, but they are very different styles of game in my opinion. But when it comes to somebody who he reminds me of, and this is going to sound crazy, Homer, and I've just been thinking this, racking my brain about this. At 20 years old, we don't see guys perform like this young in the big leagues, especially at the best the game has ever been, right? So the name that always I fall back on and is always appearing on these leaderboards when I'm looking up stats that Jackson Chourio is doing, he's the youngest player to do since this guy. The guy that keeps popping up is Ken Griffey Jr., and I realize that's the comp because Griffey played with so much joy, always had a smile on his face. The kid, the backwards hat. Chourio always has a smile on his face. We hear stories about him calling his home runs. We hear stories about him being able to just smile and, it's no big deal, Poppy. I'll get it done today. And it's just the confidence and the unwavering swagger. And it's not like I'm better than you and it's like a cocky way. It's more of like a confidence that he walks that line so carefully that you can only walk that line if you've got the game to back it up. And the fact that he's in record books alongside guys like Ken Griffey Jr., alongside guys like Mickey Mantle at this age in the big leagues, that's what reminds me of. And the reason he's done it is because of that confidence and that mental makeup. And again, back to those veterans that have helped him along the way.
And it's no guarantee that he will become that level, but it's also accurate to mention what's going on because that speaks to how incredible it is. And you just have to give it to him.
Yeah, it's not every day that a 20-year-old is going to be a long-time superstar in the big leagues. And let's be honest, it's only 120 or so games so far into his big league career. A lot of things can change, but natural progression, you would think he's going to get better. He's going to get stronger. He's only 20. I mean, there's going to be good weight put on. He's going to learn how teams are attacking him. He's going to see more and more breaking balls. He's going to understand how to hit those. And the reason why people bring up those names is because I wouldn't say it's an expectation, but it's a sort of a hope and a belief that, like, the Brewers were right on this guy, and they were right to give him $82 million, and that in 4 or 5 years down the road, we're like, oh, my gosh, what a bargain for a franchise cornerstone.
And clearly, he's improved at an amazing rate given how young, both his fielding and hitting. You look at, you probably have the date, where up to this date, he was nothing. And since that date, he's been one of the elite in the game.
It's since June 2nd, right? And the numbers are flabbergasted because I talked about this on my post-game show a couple of nights ago where it's not just the best player on the Brewers since June 2nd. He's arguably the best player in the National League since June 2nd. That includes Lindor. That includes Ohtani. I mean, the numbers that he has are in line with those gods of the game, if you will. So it's a sustained, it's 100 games plus now of him being this successful. This isn't by accident anymore.
How did it happen? What do people around the team say? He just sees pitches better? Something is clearly different that he's figured out.
I think it's confidence. It really is confidence. And we all point to the game May 30th against the Cubs when he didn't charge a ball that was in front of him, maybe to his fullest potential. Freddie Peralta was on the mound, who's on the mound tonight for the Crew. Freddie, after that inning, pulled him up the tunnel, up to the clubhouse, and pulled him aside. And I wouldn't say it was a chewing. It was more of a buildup. You would expect a guy to, like, hey, man, you got to get my out. You got to go hard all the time. What are you doing lollygagging out there? Freddie did the opposite. Freddie said, hey, you got paid already. That means they believe in you. So it's time for you to believe in yourself that you can make great plays like this. And from that day forward, Freddie, Willie, Gary, William, all of the Latin players that have helped him that know what it feels like to be, sort of in a cocoon. You don't speak the language. You're so young. You've been paid already. You don't really know guys on this team because you didn't come up in the minor leagues with these guys because you were so quickly to the game. He made friends quickly. Those guys helped bring him to the position that he's in now. So that's what I look at that moment when he didn't go for that fly ball. Then Freddie brings him to the tunnels, builds him up, doesn't tear him down, and now we're talking about him as a Rookie of the Year candidate.
I keep you longer, but you got 100 jobs. Dom Cotroneo, every stat there is. Appreciate you taking the time, and I can't imagine how much fun it's been. And you can't say they're lucky. They've played too well to be called lucky.
I agree with that entirely. Thanks, Homer. We're going to simulcast the post-game extravaganza tonight here on ESPN as well, so hope y'all tune in.
Sounds good. Brewers got to play well because it's not about the division. It's about getting to the second spot. Dom Cotroneo.
Thank you,
Tim
sir.
Van Voorn, Fox 6 Sports. Not next, but soon.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have backups along southbound 43 from before Hampton Avenue all the way down past Capitol. And then you're back on the brakes just through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound slowing down from about Kilbourne all the way up past Fond du Lac Avenue. Westbound 94, a hefty ride. We got a problem through the Marquette. There is a crash on the left shoulder on the ramp heading straight through from 794 westbound to westbound 94. And then just general delays all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And then again through Waukesha County in pockets all the way to about Barker Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 61. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, a high of 83 at the lake, 87 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say seeing is believing. And when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Tailgating is back, Wisconsin. Have you ever wondered how tailgating started? One theory is that it started during the first college football game in 1869, as spectators spent their pregame ritual grilling sausages at, of all places, the tail end of a horse. Another is that tailgating started in 1919 during the first Green Bay football season. Fans backed up their pickups to the field, folded down their tailgates for seating, and served food and beverages. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Since 1960, we've been the place to stock up for all your tailgate rituals. With over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines, Discount Liquor is your one-stop tailgate shop. Discount Liquor in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services in cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't call me darling unless you want to take me home.
Yes, the Brewers have won the division.
Like you are here alone.
But it doesn't mean much because you knew they were going to win the division. They got 11 games left. It's all about catching probably the Dodgers to be the 2 seed so they get a pass during the wild card and then would move on in to the divisional series best of 5. They have a chance to be the most amazing team in the history of sports in the state of Wisconsin if they would win the World Series. Nothing even close to as amazing as it would be. Do you have a car, boat, ATV, or motorcycle taking up space in storage or your garage? Consider donating it to Rawhide Youth Services, co-founded in 1965 by Bart and Sherry Starr. Rawhide is a faith-based nonprofit that helps thousands of youth every year, many right here in Milwaukee, to overcome trauma, suicidal thoughts, and live better lives. They need vehicle donations, and it all started when Bart Starr at Rawhide said, "You can have the car that I just won for being the MVP in the Super Bowl." And vehicle donations have been big ever since. They have and can make a difference. Visit rawhide.org/donate and learn how you can help today. The next edition of Behind the Bucks is on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher. Bucks stars share their experiences from competing on the world's biggest stage, the Olympics, from battling against their Bucks teammates to teaming up with fierce rivals, all for the glory of a gold medal. Behind the Bucks offers unique access and deep storytelling for Bucks fans unlike ever before. Presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Find it on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Jordan Love was at practice today. Can you really say practice based on what LaFleur say?
He was limited.
Yeah.
He kept saying that. He kept going back to that. He was limited when asking what Love actually
do you know what was
did in
even
practice.
more limited than that comment about limited? Was what LaFleur explained about limited. Because limited could mean a lot of things. And Matt LaFleur refused to give any information on what limited meant. Because any additional question, the answer was he was limited.
They even asked Jordan Love what he did in practice today at his locker, and he said that he was limited. He didn't specifically say what he did.
I know, because he's a wise person and he's been told what to say. That's why I'm comfortable with him playing at less than 100%, because I think Jordan Love will do it wisely and not put himself in tough situations. That's what it comes down to. In addition to your condition, whether the team is comfortable that you won't do anything goofy that could hurt the team or risk the injury. I would say Jason Wilde mentioned yesterday he didn't think that Jordan Love would play, and I would probably still be in that camp. They've made it clear that they don't want to tell the opposing team what is the condition of Jordan Love. But to me, it's not hard. I'm going to have a game plan ready when it's Jordan Love. And if it's not Jordan Love, then we're going to put 12 people on the line of scrimmage. It's not that hard, but clearly Matt LaFleur wants to leave a question mark. What did he do today? Don't know. Is it limited? What do you normally do today? He was limited. How did he play in the preseason? He was limited. Did he answer any question with anything other than limited? Not about Jordan Love. I don't think.
Now when it came to Jordan Love,
yeah,
it was
Jordan
all
Love.
limited.
Was it 5 times Do you think?
At least 5, yes.
At least 5. Well, we'll see if Tim Van Voren does the same. He's never limited. He's next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two.
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at 28 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that was voted Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
Braden Narveson has made 6 field goals through 2 games, but has also missed a kick in each contest, one from 43 yards out and the other from 45. Head coach Matt LaFleur said he's willing to be patient with his rookie kicker despite early inconsistencies.
From my perspective, I'd say pretty patient. I like his mentality. I like his talent. I do think he's done a pretty nice job. I know he's got to make that field goal. He knows it. We all know it, but I'm confident that if he's in that situation again, he'll hit it.
The 1-1 Packers getting ready to visit the 0-2 Tennessee Titans on Sunday. Kickoff is set for noon.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank.
Concerned about fraud? Tri-City's got your back. Use debit card alerts. Help stop a card hack. You'll get notified when your card's being used so you can prevent your account from abuse. Tri-City National Bank, member FDIC.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Rainman is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Skip the line and order online with a Cousin Subs mobile app and join the Cousins Club. Cousin Subs, they believe in better. Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. The 3 most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Voren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports. By the way, our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question: will Jordan Love play on Sunday, 41% yes, 59% no. I'm not going to ask Tim Van Vorn first. I'm going to save that one. Tim Van Vorn, Fox 6 Sports, 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. He's won other awards, but he won't tell us about them, and I haven't figured it out yet. TVV, good evening.
Homer, good evening.
I believe the last win by the Packers will be remembered as historic because they ran the ball 53 times. The last time they did that was 1978. And whatever Matt LaFleur does in his time at Green Bay, he will never surprise people more than running the ball that often, even with what he had at quarterback. Am I overstating or put the proper historical perspective in the Packer game?
I kind of like you making it a game beyond the norm. Yes, you change your game plan from week to week, but you don't go that extreme. And, historic for the Packers has to be albatross historic for the Colts. I can't imagine Gus Bradley having any credibility in a defensive meeting this week when it was taken to them so badly in that first quarter. Sure, they adjusted a little bit, but come on. Football analytics is still a manhood emotion game. And the Packers all over, just in the face of the Colts in the first quarter on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, magnificent historic performance. Stood there in the atrium Sunday night for a Fox 6 Sports Blitz. It's 11 o'clock at night, and we're saying we might be standing here when the weather gets a whole lot worse in January talking about the playoffs exactly because of a game like Sunday's where you win on the ground with Malik Willis at quarterback.
Will it change the view of Matt LaFleur and his approach offensively?
I don't think so, other than I think they were going to be doing more of that this year with Josh Jacobs anyway, not to that extent. But Josh Jacobs is an entirely different type of running back than Aaron Jones, and to assume that you would run the same offense and put him into the same spots that Aaron Jones was so effective in, I think would be a mistake. So I think they were going to be a little bit different type of team this year anyway, a little bit more of that, cut and go type running from Josh Jacobs primarily. I've been impressed by the other running backs on the team, but let's face it, there's just this huge drop off after Jacobs to whoever else is in that backfield. So it's going to be him, and that's the style of football they're going to try to do when they're on the ground.
I can only imagine how proud. I mean, I'd have had a whole night of Fireball on the rocks for the offensive line. And at some point, if I was on the offensive line, I would have walked into LaFleur's office and said, Coach, we got your back. 60 carries if you want. I can't. They just have to be so proud, so confident. What's the best way to describe their mood given what they did?
They're 300-pound men, Homer, and I'd call them giddy. How could they not be giddy? They were told all week, this is what we're going to do, and then they went out there and did it. They completely exerted their will on the Colts to record-setting numbers. And, yes, they were in the heat, and, yes, some of them were, showing the effect of that. They carried that game. They said, here we go. And I think you have to credit LaFleur and the offensive coaches who got them into this team, receivers and tight ends as well, into the right mindset of we have to win this game just bare-knuckle bloody, and that's exactly what they did.
This is one of the major reasons we have you on, because you're going to answer now the honest. So have they now set a standard that for the entire season, in any game I can go, the hell, they didn't run the ball? These guys can run the ball. They set a standard against the Colts. Is it unfair to then use that as somewhat of a standard for the rest of the season, or do you just say it was once in a lifetime, or that's maybe more of what they are than thought?
I'm in the once in a lifetime category. I'm in the Matt Flynn 6 touchdown pass category. I think it was a perfect storm. They were absolutely 100% gunned up to play that way, and the Colts had no answer for them. But second, third, fourth quarters, Colts got a lot better at it. So even in that situation, they adjusted. So I think it's, I don't know if it's a complete one-off, but I don't think it's the regular Packer offense we'll be seeing.
And you're right, because it really ended at half. It's hard to describe how dominant they were in the first half or first quarter because they really didn't do anything in the second half, and the numbers still are historic.
Didn't they have 239, 234 yards, something like that at halftime, and they finished with, 250 something? So, it was an entirely different story in the second half. And granted, the Packers were much more conservative, what they were calling. But the Colts did adjust. In fairness, the Colts did adjust. But I cannot imagine how you look in the mirror if you're part of that Colts defensive coaching staff when that happened to you.
All right, let's get to the rest of the team, the rest of the game. Anything else stand out? It's all forgotten because of the running and the quarterback.
All forgotten, Homer. All forgotten because of the win. Hail Mary, if that works, running Braden Narvison out of town. Touchdown pass to Dontavian Wicks, if that's a pick six, which wasn't that far from truth.
Mm-hmm.
The narrative is different. They only won by 6 points, Homer. That's why it's a feel-good win, but to act like it's the Saints drubbing the Cowboys or something is not fair. This was a just barely win. All credit to the Packers for doing it. They absolutely, what was their time of possession in the first half? 23 minutes or something? 23 minutes, 200-plus yards on the ground in the first half. You win by 6 points. You got to temper some of this. I think you have to temper some of this if you're the Packers. And I think Matt LaFleur and his coaching staff are wise enough to do so.
You just tempered it in a huge fashion, like they say in some games. Just throw the tape out. Like whatever is to be learned about the Green Bay Packers this season was not learned in that game because it was, I don't want to say a fluke or how. I mean, you pretty much just described it. You really can't take anything from it other than to give them credit for a win, and it may not be reflective in any way other than, I guess, maybe the defense and creating turnovers. What occurred in that game that fits, even if the running doesn't?
I think you summed it up perfectly, Homer, there. I think you can take nothing from this other than as a win, and as a massive win. If you're sitting here this week at 0-2 and wondering about Jordan Love's status, tell me how you could prick the tension with a pin. It's all different because you won the game, and that's what you take away from that game. And I don't think you take a whole lot more away from it. But the defense, back on the takeaway train, absolutely. Daniel Whelan, I know how much you love punters, Homer, but, that guy has not had a punt returned against him yet. 5 punts this year, not a single one returned. Matt LaFleur considers him a weapon. I asked him today, Whelan today, are you an impact player? He says, that's what I want to be. So, yes, there are some of those things you can take from it. And I think, the defense definitely played better than it did a week before because you didn't see those busts. You were beaten on individual athletic ability by Jonathan Taylor on occasion, by Anthony Richardson running on occasion, but you didn't see these wide-open miscommunication type situations. They definitely have to shore up their running defense. And Tennessee has a couple of runners. But stats and all that stuff are so misleading. Tennessee is the number one defense in the NFL, Homer, coming into this game. Are you cowering because you're going against the Tennessee Titans? No. The Titans went against the Bears in week 1. The Bears are so brutal offensively that the Titans look like they have good statistics. This time of year, win, lose, start to develop your identity on the good side or the bad side.
Who is playing well defensively?
Xavier McKinney's playing well. He's come up with 2 interceptions. You can get hit in the hand. Keyshawn Nixon got hit in the hands the first week, didn't catch it. Xavier McKinney, one real solid play on the ball, one real maybe more film study type play on Richardson. The ball kind of came right to him, but he's playing well. I like Lucas Van Ness so far. He's showing up more than he did to this stage last season. Rashawn Gary's been quiet so far on the flip side of that. I think Javon Bullard has played well, and Evan Williams got more snaps the other day. I'm not sure he made the interception at the end. He recovered the onside kick. So he might be one of those guys who's around a lot. That's how they're talking about him, around the ball. He's not a big guy, so I wonder exactly how impactful he can be. But, he's earned his snaps on the field, and Javon Bullard, as a rookie, there's no reason to take him off the field either.
Malik Willis, he was close to perfection in terms of what you wanted him to do, but I haven't heard growing confidence in wanting to use him much longer.
I mean, what's the little symbol you could put on social media? Love greater than Willis. I mean, that's what it comes down to. No offense to Malik Willis, but certainly love gets you more excited than Willis. You know what? I think may never have another moment in the sun this season or whenever, but deserves all the glow right now. It didn't beat the Packers. What do backup quarterbacks do? A lot of times they lose a game. You know, Badgers last week, how much did things change when you go to the backup quarterback? Like Willis was all week, but by and large, it's just a different game. Willis deserves all the credit. I think he should hang on to that game ball, grip it, smile as wide as he can. End of the year, maybe that win does turn out to be very large. I absolutely love the way he's handled himself. And today I asked him, what about, you seem to keep your emotions in check, Malik, but you were traded by Tennessee. You start a game, you win a game as a backup. Now you're going back to Tennessee. Where are your emotions? What are they? And he said, that's just fluff for you guys to talk about. I'm just trying to get better.
I give him credit, but that's crap. You know it's crap. I know it's crap. There's not a human alive in his situation that wouldn't want to beat that team more than any other team. Now, you certainly want to beat the best team in the league, but no, I was going to ask you, I don't think there was a play in that game where you said he tried to do too much. I think he was fortunate on the pass to Dobbs because I think it was short, and if the defensive back had seen it, he might have intercepted it, but Dobbs made the play. But isn't that what you always fear with a backup? What is that guy thinking? And I don't know that there ever was, even when the guy vomited, he still ran the play, right? Knowing he wasn't going to throw the ball, but he faked it even on that play. Am I accurate on that? Because he said he wasn't going to throw the ball.
You are, and if you watch the replay, he wipes his hand. I mean, he's holding the ball. He puts his hand on, he wipes his hand on his butt to try to clear the stuff off. So it's not like he didn't know what was going on. He knew there was something on that ball, and he made the right decision. And that's why I say he's handled himself so well, and his answers, I agree with you. There has to be something going on emotionally there. But he never let on the week leading up to the game. He hasn't let on since. He didn't let on after the game like, see, I told you so, I'm validated. None of that stuff. This is in character for him, and I think he played the way he's responded. Very controlled, maybe safe and composed, but that's exactly what you needed.
I'm worried about Marshawn Lloyd as far as staying healthy, not just now, but forever. Is that my overreaction of the day?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all there, but I would also say Manuel Wilson looks a little better than I expected. Ellis Merriweather had a good preseason, and they're singing the praises of this new guy, Chris Brooks. So, it's on Lloyd to get back and be healthy and be a contributor, but I suddenly don't think the cupboard is there behind Josh Jacobs at that spot.
And your thoughts on picking who's going to win the game?
Depends on the quarterback. Love quarterbacks, Packers win. Willis quarterbacks, Titans win.
Do you feel any different about the Packers than you did when the season started?
Not really. Not really. Defense coming along, loves the leader. Reason for optimism, nothing given.
Well, go to AmFam, enjoy, and hope the Brewers win so they can get closer to a top 2 seed. That is an amazing, amazing story.
100%.
TVV, Tim Van Vorn, Fox 6 Sports. Yes, we've got the gambling, the weekly wager show. You can make money betting on a kicker to make one 48 yards or longer in the Houston game. Easy money. We'll see if they talk about it. Next.
Still seeing some delays 94 eastbound between Highway G and Highway 16, and then again right through the Barker Road area. You'll be back on the brakes from 92nd Street to Hawley Road. Westbound 94 dealing with an accident on the left shoulder on the ramp straight through from 794 to westbound 94 in the Marquette. The westbound is anyways delayed all the way to Mitchell Boulevard.